The relationship between Prince Harry and King Charles has never been truly peaceful. From a childhood marked by the absence of his mother's loving hand to growing up under the harsh spotlight of royal life, Harry always felt like he didn't quite belong. His decision to step back from royal duties and start a new life in the United States with his wife once stirred global controversy. Many believed he was simply running away from responsibility, but the truth may be far more serious. Now, Harry has decided to break his silence once and for all. He has publicly accused his father, King Charles, of being connected, whether directly or indirectly, to the tragic and mysterious death of his mother, Princess Diana. It's an accusation that has shaken the United Kingdom to its core. What pushed Harry to bring everything into the light? Why now? Join us as we uncover what lies behind the closed doors of the royal family, a place where, if the truth is revealed, it could shake the very foundation of the crown. Join us as we explore the details of this exposure. In previous years, Prince Charles and Prince Harry had a close relationship that was more than just about their royal titles. They had a strong bond based on warmth, understanding, and support. Charles was not just Harry's father, but he also acted as his mentor, source of comfort, and pillar of strength. Despite the vicissitudes of being royal, their relationship was personal and full of tender moments that showed how close they were. After Princess Diana passed away in 1990, Harry, who was only 12 at the time, was very sad. Charles stepped in to shield his youngest son from the media and extreme grief. He stayed close to Harry, hoping to alleviate some of the pain from the devastating loss. Charles would spend time with him quietly, stroll in the palace gardens, and take him out of London when it all became too overwhelming. These simple acts made Harry feel secure. Charles was aware of the public attention, but at home, he prioritized being a father above all else. As Harry got older, Charles continued to be there for him. He supported Harry's decision to join the military and was proud of his son's desire to serve. When Harry went to Afghanistan, Charles was worried but always showed pride in his bravery. He visited Harry while he was serving and kept in touch often. Whenever Harry faced criticism or emotional struggles, Charles tried to comfort him. He did not show affection loudly, but his actions showed how much he cared. One of the most heartwarming examples of their relationship was seen during Harry's wedding to Meghan Markle in 2018. Meghan's father couldn't attend, so Charles walked her down the aisle instead. This went beyond a duty as a royal. Charles demonstrated his approval of Harry's choice, welcoming Meghan into the family graciously. It was a subtle yet impactful display of affection. Harry found it very touching to see his father supporting his wife in such a public manner. Behind the doors of the palace, Charles and Harry had many personal conversations. They frequently discussed Diana, including her sense of humor, her kindness, and her love for them. These conversations strengthened their relationship. Charles tried to take on the role Diana had left behind, giving Harry advice and being there for him, and their connection seemed very strong. Over time, however, relationships can change, even the strongest ones. Harry's increasing openness about his difficulties within the royal family and the pressures he and Meghan were under caused a shift. The choice to step away from royal responsibilities caused a significant rift. Private tension turned into public distance. Communication became infrequent, and their once strong bond began to weaken. Harry talked about not feeling supported or understood. Charles had a hard time accepting Harry's decisions and the path he had chosen in life. Their relationship started to suffer as personal matters were made public through interviews and books. The closeness they once had began to fade away, giving way to distance and lack of communication. Now, before we dive into Charles's hidden scandal, which Harry exposed, let's take a few steps back to where this divide all started. It all began quietly when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle met. Things took a turn. Initially, it appeared to be just another part of his life. Prince Harry had been through relationships previously, and the royal family had experienced it all. Yet, Meghan stood out. She was a successful actress, self-assured, and not part of the royal circle. Prince Harry seemed genuinely happy, His smile became broader, and he appeared more comfortable. However, beneath the surface, tension started to build over time. In the palace, people were worried because Meghan's background, career, and strong opinions made some uneasy. Prince Charles saw how committed Harry was to her and respected his son's happiness. But he was concerned about how quickly things were progressing. Meghan and Harry were not keeping their relationship private. They were open and enthusiastic. The media was constantly covering them, and before long, negative stories started to come out. The stress kept growing. Charles made an effort to comprehend Meghan. He greeted her warmly and endorsed their engagement. He also escorted her during her wedding, which was seen as a caring gesture. This act demonstrated his willingness to assist them in beginning their life together positively. Despite this, issues began to arise. Meghan and Harry desired more freedom and were unhappy with how the media portrayed them, feeling isolated. The rigid rules and traditions of the palace were not flexible enough for their preferences. After the wedding, the situation did not become peaceful. Instead, rumors started to spread. Meghan was frequently in the spotlight in news reports. Some of the stories were unjust, and others made things more difficult. Harry started to act defensively. He was unhappy with the way Meghan was being targeted and believed his family should do more to protect her. He had witnessed how the media mistreated his mother, Diana, and was determined not to let history repeat itself. On the other hand, Charles had a different perspective. He believed that staying patient and not responding publicly was the best approach. Over time, Meghan and Harry distanced themselves because they did not like being in the public eye as much as the rest of the family. They desired privacy to focus on their careers, raise their child, and live without always being in the spotlight. However, in a royal family, separating yourself is not easy, because responsibilities are not just duties but also societal norms and beliefs. When Meghan and Harry made the decision to leave their royal duties, it surprised everyone. They did not follow the normal way of announcing it, which caused confusion. Charles was surprised and hurt by their sudden decision. He wished they had talked to him first before going public. It felt like more than just stepping back from their duties, but also like a break from the family. After their interview with Oprah Winfrey, things took a turn for the worse. Meghan and Harry opened up about their personal struggles and the lack of support they felt. The interview was particularly tough for the royal family, especially Charles. The revelations from the interview made headlines worldwide, portraying a family in turmoil. Charles found it difficult to hear that Harry felt distant. As a father, it was painful for him to see his son talk about feeling lonely. Harry, on the other hand, struggled the most with feeling like no one understood how much he and Meghan had been through. They were both hurt, but they did not talk openly about their feelings. This led to even more distance between them. After resigning and relocating to the United States, Harry and Meghan started a fresh chapter in their lives. They had another baby and concentrated on their individual careers. However, despite their progress, the disconnect from the royal family persisted. They were not just separated by geography, but also emotionally distant. Communication dwindled, and meetings became increasingly infrequent. Charles continued to work, now as the king, with numerous royal responsibilities. Meanwhile, Harry, no longer burdened by those duties, concentrated on his family. Both men thought they were making the correct decisions. However, the strong bond they used to have had shifted. It was no longer based on regular conversations or shared experiences. Instead, it became silent, distant, and uncertain. The breakdown did not happen suddenly. It happened gradually. It started with minor disagreements on dealing with the media, protecting family, and living in the public eye. As time went on, the issues grew bigger and affected every aspect of their relationship. What started as happiness and excitement slowly transformed into quietness and pain. According to reports, Harry and Charles do not talk much anymore. How much longer my father has, he won't speak to me because of this security stuff. They do not have regular phone calls or long talks. Messages from Harry often go unanswered. There have been times when Harry tried to reach out but did not get a response. This lack of communication is difficult for any child, especially one who used to be close to his father. Harry, who now resides overseas with his family, has frequently mentioned feeling excluded. He supposedly thinks that his father has become more distant, especially since he decreased his royal responsibilities. This feeling of isolation has greatly hurt him. He no longer experiences that familiar feeling of closeness. Instead, he feels a sense of distance, not just physically, but emotionally as well. Harry has attempted to reconnect multiple times, often reaching out before important events or after interviews to explain himself or seek empathy. However, many of his attempts have been ignored or politely rejected. These rejections are significant and feel like a loss of closeness between Harry and the others involved. One of the clearest signs of their silence can be observed in public. At royal events, when both men are present, something is clearly different. There are no friendly greetings or smiles exchanged. Instead, there is a sense of formality and tension that was not present in the past. They may be in close proximity, but they avoid making eye contact. There is no communication or physical interaction between them. It seems as though an invisible barrier now separates them. One example of this was when Queen Elizabeth passed away, and Harry went back to the UK to pay respects to his grandmother. Well, for a start, the only time that I've come back to the UK is sadly for funerals or court cases. He was seen with his family during the funeral events, but the tension between him and Charles was obvious. They did not have any private reunions or quiet moments together, just a sense of duty and distance. Harry tried to meet up with his father while on short visits to the UK. Some people claim that he tried reaching out and asking to talk. However, his efforts were either postponed or gently rejected. King Charles, preoccupied with his duties as king, appeared hesitant to make time for the meeting. Whether it was because of lingering emotional pain, a sense of letdown, or pressure from the royal establishment, the outcome remained unchanged. A chance for reconciliation was once again missed. The quietness has not only impacted Harry and Charles, but also their whole family. Their connection used to bring everyone together, but now that it's broken, there are consequences. They now spend holidays separately and miss out on important moments. Their children, who are also Harry's and Charles's grandchildren, hardly ever see each other. The family that used to be united is now divided. But where did all this pain come from? Was all this because of Meghan? Or are there other reasons why he distanced himself and his family from the royals? Prince Harry used to view the royal family as more than just a tradition. It was where he felt at home, safe, and where he found his identity. However, as time passed, his feelings changed. What once felt like a source of protection started to feel like a burden. The people he once relied on seemed far away. The decisions made within the palace began to cause pain instead of providing support. Harry gradually became disillusioned with what he referred to as the firm, the influential organization responsible for managing the royal family's public image and affairs. Harry's anger did not happen all at once. It developed gradually over the years. In the beginning, it was minor, like awkward moments, cold responses, and a lack of understanding. However, as more negative incidents occurred, these emotions intensified. One of the most painful experiences for Harry was seeing how Meghan was treated after becoming part of the royal family. She was thrust into a world of constant scrutiny and strict protocols. And despite her efforts to adapt and remain resilient, it became overwhelming for her. When she bravely admitted to feeling helpless and in need of support, Harry expected his family to rally around her, just as they had done for him in the past. Instead, he felt as though they remained indifferent and silent, which deeply hurt him. Meghan's mental health struggles became a turning point when Harry saw parallels to his mother, Diana's, struggles. He felt that Meghan was feeling trapped, isolated, and misunderstood, just like Diana had. The people in charge seemed to prioritize appearances over genuine care, with meetings and press releases lacking true concern for Meghan's well-being. Harry felt frustrated with the lack of action and warmth that he believed Meghan needed to receive. He felt pain because he believed Meghan was treated unfairly in the media due to her being biracial. Harry was surprised and disappointed by his family's reaction to the mistreatment of Meghan. He had expected them to support and speak up for her, but they remained silent. Harry felt their silence implied they did not care about Meghan's well-being. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. He started to view the firm as prioritizing tradition over standing up for what is right. In addition to everything else, Harry felt like a spare part in his family. His older brother was destined to be the king, while Harry was seen as the backup plan. This made him feel burdened over time. He was part of the family but not given the same attention. He could be near the throne but never rule it. His thoughts were ignored, and his aspirations seemed unimportant. He desired a sense of purpose but felt restricted. Over time, he started showing his frustration more openly. During interviews, he talked about the difficulties he faced. In documentaries, he shared personal anecdotes. In his book, he detailed his perspective on the events. These instances were not just for the media, but a way for him to finally express himself. He discussed his pain, the feeling of being overlooked, and seeing his wife go through struggles. He also mentioned the challenges of being raised in a society where appearance mattered more than emotions. Harry has a hard time letting go of the way his mother, Princess Diana, was treated. She was young, and loving, but she faced difficulties within the royal family. Despite speaking out about her struggles, she often felt isolated. Harry always remembers how she was marginalized, and her truth was only acknowledged after her death. He also observed how Camilla, who was once associated with his mother's unhappiness, was eventually accepted and celebrated. This stark difference in treatment hurt Harry, as it seemed like Diana's pain was disregarded while others were welcomed and forgiven. Harry felt excluded from the situation, not because he wanted to be on his own, but because he felt like he had no other option. He did not want to give up his title or leave his country. He just wanted to feel acknowledged and supported. When that did not happen, his frustration increased. However, deep down, he felt sad that his family did not support him during such a crucial time. So, were all these the reasons why Harry exposed his father's long-hidden scandal? If yes, what exactly did he reveal? And why? Let's find out. New reaction tonight following the latest revelations by Britain's Prince Harry. In a BBC interview, Harry said he didn't know how long Prince Charles had to live. Prince Harry has always been known as the rebel in the royal family, not afraid to speak his mind. He has openly discussed issues such as problems with the media, his family troubles, and the emotional impact of his mother's death. However, recently, he has shocked everyone by disclosing something unexpected that could have a significant impact on the royal family's reputation. In a new addition to his popular autobiography, Harry revealed a very personal and surprising tale. This time, but it wasn't just about his struggles, it involved a secret that the royal family had been concealing for a long time. Harry disclosed that there had been a cover-up regarding King Charles's health. He recounted how, during his adolescent years and later as an adult, he observed odd behaviors and lengthy periods of quiet from his father. Initially, he believed it was due to stress, but as he matured, things began to click. Harry said that King Charles was secretly managing a significant health problem that was being kept private from the public. This condition reportedly impacted his memory and mood, making him tired, confused, and distant. According to Harry, the royal advisors and doctors were aware of this issue and made adjustments to accommodate it, such as rearranging meetings and controlling public appearances. Despite these efforts, the truth about King Charles's health was not known beyond the palace walls. The importance of this issue goes beyond personal reasons. It also involves trust. The public thinks they are familiar with their king. They witness him being cheerful at events, delivering speeches, and acknowledging crowds from balconies. They trust that he is confident, intelligent, and prepared to govern. However, If Harry's account is accurate, then what the public saw was only part of the truth. The other part was concealed diligently, protected by a group of professionals who ensured that the royal family's image remained flawless. Harry expressed confusion about why the palace always tried to hide things. He believed that if his father had been truthful, people might have been more compassionate. Perhaps the family relationships could have been stronger. However, keeping silent only made matters worse. It caused a rift and made family members feel like strangers. Harry had to put on a happy face even when he was struggling inside, pretending that everything was okay when it wasn't. He also disclosed that he discovered personal letters and notes from employees that were written when King Charles was too sick to attend events. These messages revealed the extent to which efforts were made to conceal the truth. For example, one message discussed canceling a trip at the last moment and blaming it on bad weather. Another suggested using a pre-recorded video instead of having the king speak live in case he had difficulty speaking. Harry asserted that all of these actions were taken to protect the monarchy, but they ultimately caused great turmoil within the royal family. Harry tried multiple times to talk to his father about the issue, wanting to understand and help. However, Charles avoided the topic and acted as if everything was okay. As a result, Harry felt like an outsider and was completely shut out by his father. After Prince Harry made this surprising revelation, people all over the world started paying attention to Buckingham Palace. They were curious to see how the royal family would react. Many wondered if they would publicly support the king or remain silent. It was soon evident that the palace decided to stay quiet. There were no official statements or explanations. Emotions were not displayed. The silence conveyed more meaning than any words could. Inside the large gates, there was a lot of gossip, surprise, and disbelief. Advisors were working hard to deal with the increasing chaos. The news about Harry's claims was being covered by all the major news outlets globally. Social media was flooded with various reactions. Many individuals were questioning why the royal family was staying silent during this tough situation. Some people supported the king and felt that Harry had crossed a line. On the other hand, some believed Harry's words and sympathized with him for feeling so isolated. Photographers waited outside the palace all the time to try to see royal activity. News vans filled the streets, and reporters asked the same questions repeatedly. The palace stayed closed off and stuck to their rule of not explaining or complaining. This attitude seemed odd in today's world, where people wanted honesty and answers. People were curious about what was happening inside the palace. As the media's attention increased, the way people viewed the monarchy began to change. The royal family had long been admired for their tradition and power, but now flaws were becoming visible. People started to doubt how the family dealt with their personal problems. They were confused about why it was difficult to uncover the truth. The mystery that used to make the royals intriguing now made them seem aloof and unfriendly. The situation was tricky for King Charles. Despite always trying to seem confident and in control, this time was different. The lack of communication raised more questions. Was the king sick? Did Harry make it seem worse than it was? Why wasn't anyone calming the situation? Each day without a response made the situation more complicated. Things were tense within the royal family. Prince William, Harry's older brother, was said to be very upset. He had always been thought of as the one who obeyed the rules and supported the monarchy. Seeing his brother share personal information in public felt like a betrayal to William. He had kept his distance from Harry for a while, and this new situation made their relationship even more strained. William carried on with his public duties, but privately, there was a somber atmosphere. Other members of the royal family also faced challenges. Some felt sorry for Harry because they knew how much he and his brothers suffered when they lost their mother. They understood that Harry needed to heal. However, they believed that family issues should be dealt with privately. By speaking out publicly, Harry violated the trust that kept the family united. But amidst all of this, one question remains. What is Prince Harry's motive? And what does he stand to gain by putting his father in turmoil? When Prince Harry started talking publicly about his difficulties and his past life, many people paid attention with a combination of surprise and conflicting emotions. Some thought he was retaliating against the royal family that raised him, while others saw him as just telling his story. The distinction between seeking vengeance and seeking fairness was unclear, and each word he said only added more complexity to the mystery of his true intentions. Harry did not make the decision to share personal details publicly quickly. It came after experiencing years of struggling in silence, heartbreak, and not getting answers. When he was young, he witnessed his mother going through a difficult time in the public eye. He noticed how the royal family remained silent while Princess Diana faced negative treatment from the media. He always remembered how her voice was overshadowed by those with more power. This memory influenced his perspective on the system and what it values. Over time, Harry's frustrations grew as he felt like he was always treated as less important and sometimes overlooked. The thought of being a spare weighed heavily on him. Despite supporting the crown, standing by his brother, and fulfilling his responsibilities, Harry still felt like something was lacking. Meghan coming into his life made him feel complete, and they found comfort, laughter, and shared dreams together. However, Meghan's presence also brought about new obstacles for them to face. Meghan was under a lot of pressure from the media and felt alone in the palace, which made Harry upset. He felt like he wasn't getting enough help or protection. He noticed the same problems happening again and again. The same lack of support that his mother experienced was now affecting his wife. This is when he lost his patience. He did not trust his family to protect his loved ones anymore. He decided it was time to speak out. Some people think that Harry exposed private royal information as a way to get back at those who mistreated him. They believe he felt excluded, neglected, and punished for his choices. According to this perspective, his words were intended to hurt those who disappointed him. However, others have a different understanding. They think Harry was seeking justice, not revenge. The distance between family members is not caused by just one event, but by a combination of different feelings, words spoken, decisions made, and trust broken all contribute to the hurt. Even in the most difficult times, the possibility of reconciliation is still present. Families have the ability to forgive each other, even when they are separated, especially when they are reminded of good memories and strong love. Meghan is a significant figure in this story because she is Harry's wife and the mother of his children. Her impact on Harry is powerful, as she symbolizes security, reassurance, and a life away from royal duties. While some in the royal family may feel uneasy about Meghan's role and the changes it has brought, there is potential for her to bring peace and unity in the future if she and the family take peaceful, private steps. If Meghan's role is based on serenity and compassion, she may eventually be able to win over those who are resistant to her presence. Prince William is an important person in this situation. He used to be very close to Harry, but now their relationship is strained. Despite this, they are brothers at heart. They grew up together, endured hardship together, and lived their lives before becoming famous. Even though they are now physically separated, their bond is still strong. William's future role as king will demand wisdom, which might prompt him to make amends with Harry. A small gesture, a private conversation, or simply a mutual understanding could help them repair their relationship. Queen Elizabeth's memory is also present in this story. She was influenced by duty, grace, and family in her life. Although she has passed away, her influence continues in tradition and in the hearts of people. She cared deeply for her grandchildren and was a pillar of strength for her family during difficult times. The legacy she left behind could serve as a guiding light for those she left behind. If her family remembers her strength and dedication, they may have a reason to come together in her honor. In the future, there are many occasions that could unite the family, such as coronations, royal weddings, or the birthdays of young royals. These events provide opportunities for the family members to come together. Even small acts of kindness or smiles could help improve their relationships. People will eagerly observe, looking for signs of togetherness. However, genuine reconciliation needs to go beyond what is shown on camera. Harry's future is not set in stone. He has started a new life in a different country where he has found meaning and love. He has decided to be honest about his feelings and prioritize his well-being. However, he may not completely cut ties with his previous life. It's uncertain if he will resume his royal duties. Instead of a complete return, he might slowly reconnect with his royal responsibilities. This could involve attending family gatherings, showing support for royal causes from a distance, or working on repairing relationships privately as a starting point for reconciliation. What Prince Harry has revealed is not just a family matter. It could be a piece of the truth that has been hidden from justice for nearly 3 decades. He is no longer the silent boy walking behind his mother's coffin, but a man willing to challenge the monarchy to seek justice. So now, the final question is, do you believe what Harry says? Bunny, do you still believe in the royal family's silence? If you believe the truth deserves to be heard, share this video. Let's raise our voices together for Princess Diana and for justice.